9:30 p.m. Friday, December 11th of 2020. Just after prep, gunshots were heard. There was confusion and fear as both students and teachers scampered for safety. It was a bandit attack. Over 300 of them stormed here. Government Science Secondary School, Kankara, Katsina State, northwest of Nigeria. And 7 hostels out of the 8 hostels in this school were broken into.
When we came back from prep, we got into the hostel and dished our food to eat. Then they entered and we began to hear gunshots. They started shooting as they got into the school. We were running back and forth as the shooting continued. So we were all afraid, confused, and we started praying. They marched us into the fields when they had gathered us together, and they called their brothers. So they took us out of the gates and we started walking. We walked until daybreak, when we found a place to sit and rest.
Then they marched them into this space. All that was left here is but these empty hostels to tell the rest of the story of that night. And for 6 nights, they were in the captors' den, and parents stormed to school daily seeking answers. Arise News was on ground capturing these moments of immense frustration and despair.
They said 200 people came back, but even 100 people we did not see. And 2 days ago, we heard that 17 persons were back, but we only saw 3 persons that came back. One Shehu Garba said only 10 children were kidnapped, but I can tell you that even within my family in Kankara, about 20 children are unaccounted for, and there are several families that I know who do not know the whereabouts of their children.
From all what we know, we have a contact within ourselves from various locations, various local government. So we don't know even up to this time around.
While 344 of them remained in the bandits' hold, some 4 students returned by mere luck and divine intervention. We spoke to these 2.
9:30 to 10 p.m., some of us were in the hostel and others eating food. Then we heard the first gunshots and then the second gunshots. And we confirmed that the shots were within the school compound. We looked for a way to jump over the nearby fence. Those who were bigger and stronger than us jumped over the fence and left us behind. But I couldn't jump over the fence because it was too high for me. So I returned back to the hostel. I went under the bed. When they came, they started checking from hostel to hostel. When they saw me, they pulled me. They hit me and pushed me with them. One of them stepped on me. Then they all gathered at once and brought others along with them. At the gate of the school, the kidnappers warned that anyone who attempts to run will be shot. Since they took us, I never saw the particular road that was followed, and they kept taking us right into the forest.
My first night, I slept under a tree. Second night as well, I slept under another tree. I don't even know the tree's name. Then during the early hours, I heard the call for prayers. Then I figured out there was a town close to me. However, it was still dawn and I couldn't continue because it was still dark. So I went back to sleep. At daybreak, I knew where I heard the call to prayers. From there, I got to the town called Danya. There I saw a woman and I asked her to help me with food. Then she gave me fura. Another brought tea and I drank both. From there they took me to a certain barracks close to Danya. Then to the barracks in Damosa. There they cooked indomie for me to eat and I had my bath too. They washed my clothes too. From there, at about 3 p.m., thereabout, a DPO came to take me. He brought me to Kankara, and then the DPO of Kankara brought me to the school. We did all the clearance and signing, but then they insisted that we must go to Paskari. We went to Paskari barracks, finished everything we had to do, and left. Then the soldiers brought us to the road that leads to my place. Truly, the ones I left are starving and also thirsty, because even the water they gave us wasn't enough. They were asking that money be brought to them, and they said if money is brought to them, they will set us free. All they wanted was money. They also were hitting us if we made noise. They threatened to even kill us, but their boss prevented them from doing that. He told them not to shoot us. Honestly, the oldest among them will not be bigger than this person here, but there are some really young ones among them. They were small boys among them, like 15 and 17 and 18 years, but they had guns in their hands. They were the ones who were beating us mostly and insulting us. They hit us with woods. Some of the cane is fresh and long, and they combined 2 each to hit us.
They surrounded us. They were bandits and not policemen. They were all Fulani. They asked that those with money, phones, and lamps should hand them over to them. We told them we don't have phones, but we gave them our lamps. They then asked if there is a female school, and we told them there is none here but the Malum Fashi. They now asked us to follow through the school gate. There at the gate, we saw a policeman, but he was shot dead already. So we thought they were going to the village with us, but they took a different route. No, they came with motorcycles and put off the lights as they moved us through the bushes. And there were a lot of them. Through the routes they were going with us, there were a lot of them there already. They followed us, surrounded us even as we continued to walk. We walked for a long distance. I did not know where we were because it was dark. These bandits are young, about 18 or 19 years old. They were young indeed. My legs started hurting me, so I tried to run away, but I couldn't run. One of them saw me and pulled me back. I then tried to disguise and turn my clothes inward. He couldn't see me again. They now said if they find anyone who tries to escape, they will kill him. There was no food in there. They forced us all to be on the ground. I laid down as my leg was hurting. They looked and said this was a village, but for us, we couldn't see because we are not used to the bush paths, but they do.
As the days went by, the anger grew even more, with parents hearing little or nothing from the government or the school.
Since this happened on Friday, we have heard that the president is around and he is in Katsina, in his hometown Katsina, and word has reached him from the traditional leader of Kankara, who rang him and told him everything that happened in Kankara. Since the evening of Friday, there is no help from the government. From Friday to Saturday to Sunday and today Monday, no help has reached the children, and our children, 520 of them, who are in the forest, and not a single one of them has been rescued by the security and brought back to Kankara. There is this word from Garba Shehu that upset us all when he spoke with the president and said there were only 10 children kidnapped. That word upset us a lot, and that information is a lie. All of life will end in death, we know, and we are even prepared to die. The governor of Katsina himself mentioned that 333 children that have been kidnapped by these thieves. The federal government is not doing anything for us. They have no compassion on us.
Then there was the controversy over the figures. The president's aide on media and publicity, Garba Shehu, initially said 10 students were abducted. Then there were reports that 17 students had returned. We followed the story on the ground. We went to the people. We asked the tough questions. Where are these 17?
Similar to that 17 people, they had it from either any of the local government up to now. So please, we are appealing to the His Excellency Governor so that we need more clarification on these 17 people that he said that they are being rescued.
But on the 17th of December, Arise News got word of the release of the boys.
We have some breaking news just coming in. All school children who were kidnapped at the government science secondary school in Kankara, Katsina State have been released.
On the same day, this video surfaced online.
You have to dissolve any gang of vigilantes, close any kind of schools, excluding Islamia.
We are putting this out for the governor of Katsina State to see that the schoolboys are well fed and are doing well. See them. You can see that they are doing well.
All the armies that have come here to help us, please send them back. They can do nothing to them. Please.
The government should stop sending soldiers. The soldiers can do nothing. The government should stop sending any fighter jets. They can do nothing.
Arise News would later get an exclusive with this student who clarified that the abductors asked him to say they were Boko Haram members.
The reason why I shot this video is not a reason, but I am convinced to shot this video by the gangs of armed robbers. I am convinced. Sincerely speaking, the gangs of the armed robbers are very scared of what is happening from the jets. They assigned me to speak directly from this video to tell our government that they should stop sending armies and jets. If not, they are going to kill us. That is just the reason why we.
So who gave you the phone? Are they bandits or are they Boko Haram? What do you think?
I did not know who they are, but since they said I should say they are Boko Haram, the gangs of Abu Shekau.
So they asked you to say they are?
Yes.
What is your experience then?
What I experienced, sincerely speaking, they are not Boko Haram.
During your days in captivity, what happened to you when you were there? I can see your clothes stained. What happened?
Yes. We suffer a lot physically. And they beat us morning, evening, night. Some of the gangs end up beating us with cans. They are just as small and tiny boys with the cans, with the big guns. Like, I don't know how to explain them, but
as we waited for their comeback, it was a long night of waiting. But finally, on the 18th of December, the 344, accompanied by military personnel, were conveyed in 8 buses to the government house in Katsina. It was a surreal moment, as one by one they alighted from the bus, looking frail, without shoes, holding on to their blankets, some of them limping with injuries. They are now finally in suit.
They slept through the night at the south, and today, glory be to the Almighty God. We are here with them to formally hand over the students to the state for subsequent handing over to their parents.